So yes, again you asked that what do we do. So Anamika and I, we are currently running two businesses. One is Anamify, and the focus of Anamify is mainly on relationships, to create intimate and harmonious relationships, addressing any of the relationship related challenges. So our current focus is primarily on couples. So when we say relationships, we are not talking about like father-daughter relationship or son-mother relationship. We are mainly talking about romantic relationships only, and our focus is on creating more intimate and harmonious relationships. And that we are doing via two things. We have several services that we have listed on anamify.com.
Right.
But you can compress it into basically it's either we help people one on one through coaching, relationship coaching. So me and Anamika, we both are in this space. I have 20 plus years of experience in relationship life coaching. Anamika also has few years of experience together, altogether 25 plus years of experience that we bring to the table. And
Right.
sometimes we do individually the assignments, sometimes we combine and we are both present depending on the situation. Sometimes, let's say I am working with the client individually, but then I need some help with them personally, then I might ask Anamika to join me in one of the sessions and just take
Okay.
some help, all those kind of things. So we work in a team that way. Uh,
I
some
know
people
Anamika
who
actually.
are not Yeah. So people who are not able to afford us the fees wise to afford our time on one-on-one basis. Now what we have done is we have created e-learning journeys for that. So taking up relationship challenges one at a time, we have created. So we are, although we could use the term e-courses here, but we are deliberately trying not to use the term e-course over here, because it's a journey that we have created. It's a past, present, future journey that involves digging into those areas. So those journeys are like DIY style coaching that people can do themselves,
Right.
although we are directing that journey. So we are giving them the questions, the assessments, the assignments, all those things we have packaged and created these e-learning journeys. So this is available
It's, a,
at
it's
fraction
in
of
the
a cost.
realm of experience design, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is what we are currently focusing on. It's cost-wise also it's a lot more effective. People can do it in their own pace. Doesn't
Yeah.
require our particular time is not there. We are working on creating these journeys. And then after that, if they still feel that they have something specific to discuss with us, then they can obviously approach us and
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that. So that's our work that we are currently doing.
More people have joined. Hi, Nishant. Good to see you after such a long time. You'll have to unmute yourself. Uh,
Hi Anamika, everyone.
hi.
Hi, Nishant.
Hi, Vanshika. Hi, Sita.
Hi Anamika, hi Sachin. Good to see everybody here.
Great.
Hello. Good to see you too. Okay, so
Great. So
it's
it's
5:08. Should
time.
we start,
Yes.
Anamika?
Yes, we'll start now. So, Nishant, again, if you guys are comfortable keeping the videos on, that's fine. So in these calls, we are just talking and we keep the videos off. And today's topic is, is it wrong to have feelings for someone, the outside of your committed relationship? So first question I had for everybody, is there anyone who is not in a relationship or is like not married here? Because I'm guessing most of us are either married or in a relationship. No one. Great. Great. So we'll just start the conversation.
Everyone's experienced. Yeah.
Yeah. So who would, if you have any questions, because we were having a discussion in the group itself. So if there's anything you want to start the conversation with, any question, then you can begin. And whenever you guys are
I guess
speaking, just
this
unmute yourself.
question, Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Napka.
Yeah, and then mute yourself back so that if somebody else can talk. Please, Sachin.
Yeah, so I was going to say that the idea of this topic came from Vanchika. You posted in the group this question, and I felt that this is such a topic that it will be very hard to just discuss it on chat because language and words sometimes just doesn't do the needful. It's uh, it's not right, and we can get lost in the translation of what we want to say and all that. So it's best that we have a conversation talk directly on this topic. And at first my intention was to have the chat in the group, and then I realized that why not open this topic up for everyone. So then we promoted it as well, and now we have many people join who are not part of our group, but they are also showing interest. So that's why I wanted to acknowledge that the idea came from one of the messages that Vanchika posted, and I thought it was a good question, and let's take it up in the conversation today rather than chatting about it. So,
Hi Sachin, Naveen here.
yes, Navi.
Sorry, before you proceed, can I just ask, when you say group, right? Do we have, this is first time I'm joining this meeting. So do we have any WhatsApp or Telegram group?
We have
Yes.
a WhatsApp group, yes. Um,
Yeah, if
how
you
did you
don't
find
mind,
the
could you
link?
please add me? Yeah.
How did you find the link of
So
this call?
Rashmi is my friend, okay? So through her, I just joined this link. So wanted to just, have
Okay,
a
okay,
conversation and thought just to connect. So this is my first connect.
okay. Okay. I don't have your number or anything, so what I'll do is I'll share the group link with Rashmi. She can send it to you, and you can join the link from there.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Cool. All right. So let's start with this conversation. So, yeah, I would like to invite anybody in this group to start, or maybe Vanchika, you want to start? You posted this question, so why don't you start? Why you posted this question? Or
Yeah, hi.
what?
So it's really like very interesting to, think about these things and talk about these things because usually people are either scared or don't want to face certain kinds of questions. So, like, I have been working on the assignments and questions and everything, and these questions keep coming to me.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
had past experience, like, like I was in a committed relationship with somebody, and at the same time, meeting somebody new, and then like falling for the that person also, like at the same time. So there was a lot of confusion happening in my mind, and I could not like decide why is this happening and why does this happen. I was like contemplating and trying to like justify more myself, why I'm doing this. Is this right or is this wrong, or is there always, is it like always you have to only choose one person, or you're only allowed to be in a relationship with one person, having that kind of feeling only for one person? There's so many questions
Hmm, hmm,
related to
hmm.
these things. So, like,
What do you think? What do you think? What is your personal opinion about it?
my personal opinion would be like, I don't feel it's a thing about just uh, deciding on the basis of कि ये सही है या गलत है या सोसाइटी क्या बोलेगी, सोसाइटी के क्या रूल्स है, लोग क्या कहेंगे. It's about you, your own personal this thing, your needs, your own desires. That's what
Hmm,
I feel.
okay, okay. Who else would like to say something on this topic? This is going to be a conversation. We already mentioned that this is a discussion. So it's not, there's no, we're not sharing any PowerPoint slides or anything on this. So this is conversation. So I would like people to feel free to share their opinions on this.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about.
Yeah,
Sorry,
please
please.
begin. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
Now, I just had a question for I mean, I want to ask everybody in the group, all the people who are here, who have not experienced this. Okay, so if you can say that you met somebody in your life, you got married, you got into a relationship, and then you never felt attracted to anybody else in the world. So is there anybody in the group who has not experienced that?
I have. I mean, I have never experienced that. I've been married to a person for 20 years. And there are people who ask me this question very openly that, considering people who know me at work or other places as well, considering the kind of person that you are, has it never happened to you that you would have felt for somebody or somebody else would have felt for you? So I'm like, even if they have felt, they wouldn't dare to come and tell me that. So that's the kind of person I am.
Are they, I mean, scared?
It's, there's this fine line between being a friend and they don't want to lose that kind of a comfort that they have with me. Am I inviting it? Am I interested in it? I'm definitely not interested in it. But because एक से ही नहीं हो रहा यार, हम दो का क्या करेंगे, right? So one by itself is like one, okay. And then you have so many other things that you need to kind of really. So I have never felt like that for anybody else till date.
Okay.
If you
No,
ask
but
me,
I'm not asking in terms of taking an action or anything like that.
Yeah,
no
even,
taking
exactly.
going a step further. But ऐसे
Exactly.
दिमाग में आ जाता है ना कई बार that
नहीं.
you just
कोई
see
ऐसा
somebody
मिला ही
and you're
नहीं.
like,
कोई ऐसा मिला ही नहीं.
okay.
Celebrity crush or anything like that. So crush on celebrity.
Unfortunately, no. I've never had a crush on any celebrity when I
अरे
was
नहीं
growing
यार
up.
celebrity
Okay.
वाला
I
छोड़
was too busy growing up and I was too busy battling my own things at that
Not even
age.
milling someone.
No,
Oh
oh
God.
God, no. That's not the kind of a person that I like. Oh God, no. So as I said, I was too busy doing a lot of other stuff. So maybe it just got lost in translation or whatever. So the marriage was also a marriage of convenience. It was essentially not a very, again, I was not really looking for a relationship. शादी करनी है, एक डेट दे दिया कि इसके पहले तुम शादी कर लो कोई किसी से भी, तो बस किसी से भी कर लिया. That's it.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's an interesting topic. The reason is because over a period of, I have met so many people who are in this dilemma. They are married to somebody, they are very happy in their relationship, or maybe in certain aspects they are okay with it, but many aspects they are not okay with, but they are willing to stick to the relationship. Having said that, they have feelings for somebody else. It comes, right? And then they don't know what to do. Does it make them an immoral person, if I may say so, if they think like that? Does it make them, is it too much to ask for? Is it, what about the current relationship that I am in? So, I have seen many people get into relationships and get out as soon as the first instance itself. So, and then there was a time when I used to be judgmental about it, like a long time ago. Not judgmental, but I used to say, "Yaar, ek nahi sambalti, tum kitne sambhaloge?" kinds. So I was not judging the person. It didn't make me judge the person or kind of say that okay, this person is like that, or like this or whatever it is, right? That was not it. But having said that, the question always arose ki, you can, and I have felt love for people, but not necessarily a romantic or a that kind of a love. I have very close friends who are from the opposite gender and in my gender myself, the same gender. But it is not I know that it is not going to turn out to anything else because there is I don't see that opportunity over there. Having said that, there are many people who ask this question, have you not felt like that with this person or that person? And I say, no, I haven't. So is there something wrong with me? That's the question that arises when I see this kind of a question.
You have reached a certain level of transcendence for sure.
Exactly, yeah. So for me, it's like, it doesn't matter. For me, it's,
You don't qualify for this call, Rashmi.
Oh God. All right. But I would love to hear to the stories. No, I understand. But Yeah, but then, as I said, I have faced this question. I've seen this question in many people's mind. And if you ask me, I think it's okay for you to feel the same kind of love for another person as long as you're very clear about its consequences and where you want to take it from there. The responsibility of the relationship lies with the person, essentially, and the people who are attached to the person. So if it is a mutual stuff, and I think I've said, if it's something which is, you're all adults, if it is mutual and you know what you're getting into, and if you're okay with the consequences of it, then go ahead. What is stopping you?
Right. One point that you made is, I guess, one of the most crucial points when it comes to any kind of these things, and that is communicating to your partner. The problem is na, कि most people don't even talk about this, share this with their partner because they're so scared. I mean, they're so
Absolutely.
scared. Dono sides say neither of them are creating the space कि एक तो पहला वाला जो कर रहा है वो डरा हुआ है regardless it's a husband or wife, और जो दूसरा वाला सुनेगा वो तो I don't know how people react. They go crazy on these things. So it's important कि हम पहले open up तो हो जाएं, we open the barriers which we have in our head.
I mean, look at the question. Look at when Sachin said that there were 70 people who are listening into this session. So this question has not risen in one person's mind. Na? So this is such an interesting topic. That in itself shows that there is a duality in all of us. We want to know, okay, what is it on the other side?
Right. So, again, you were saying something? Yeah. Please, Sachin.
No. Yeah, begin. Yeah, I was just saying true. Yes, what Rashmi is saying, that there was so many people who responded to this topic, so it is going in their head definitely. So it's something, and I feel that there will be a lot more who also resonate with it, but probably are just shy not to even join this kind of conversation. Just so much stigma around this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll go. Yeah. So I'm again basically like, I guess I'm kind of feeling in a similar way. I wouldn't really say that I have a different story, but it's in the same direction of the question. So it's a very traditional arranged marriage, and like, I kind of have I have wife and I have a dual person with her when I am her, because that's my society and my society structure, what is there with me. And deep down, I'm a very different guy, and I think I do not have that rapport with my wife, and I would want that with my partner. So I kind of lack that, and this definitely draws me to other people. But again, like, I'm trying. I've made a mistake a couple of times before, and I do not really want to do that again. So I'm kind of slipping, and I have not so well defined boundaries. But though, like, there is a constant integration about it, but I'm not really going that way. So I'm trying to understand, because this shouldn't. How exactly do we talk about, like, tackle something like this? Yeah, that's the question. Hello.
Okay. Yes. So yeah. So we will look at that. We will see that. So right now, I want to explore a little bit more on the right and wrong side of these things. So I right now, I don't want to get into the solution side of things.
Okay, cool.
I want to
But
hear,
yeah,
hear more.
If it's about right and wrong, at times it depends on what perspective you're looking at. If you just want to put yourself first, and you totally have a right to do that, that maybe.
No. Again, I'm not asking right and wrong in the sense that like, I'm not talking from that. That we know. This answer applies to everything in life, that it's
Right.
contextual, it's situational. Yes, I know this. I want to know your right and wrong. What is your right and wrong? I don't want a general answer that it's contextual, it's situational, it's this. That's fine. What do you think? Is this right or is this wrong?
Yeah, I think it's wrong, and that's why I'm resisting doing anything. It's because I have not really given my full go with my wife the way I should have been. So, like,
What
there
stops
are
you?
some, huh?
What is stopping you from doing that?
I don't really know. Like, as like Anamika said, right? Communication is one of the problem, and uh, I don't think like she can comprehend of what my worldview is because of her
Okay.
experience in life. So that's something what I think like how exactly I would. But I know this is just a lame ass effort, lame ass this thing for me. Like it's just that I've not put in the. I'm procrastinating about facing that communication.
I have a
So,
question for Diggin. Yep, please, Sachin, you go ahead.
no, I just wanted to summarize what Digin is saying. So Digin, you are saying that feeling for another person when you are committed, you are saying that's wrong. That is what you're saying, right?
Not
If I
particularly
understood.
one person, but it's like just maybe like what if kind of thing.
No,
I'm
no.
I'm
So,
only that's okay. It's you this it's okay. I'm not judging you for this is right, but I'm just like sometimes the line breaks and I'm not. So I'm just repeating that. Have I heard you correctly? That's what you said, right? So this is what you
Yeah,
feel.
yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
okay.
What I exactly mean is
That's okay.
like, okay, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
no,
Got it. Got it.
so you are saying, Diggin, that feeling this in itself, like for an example, I'll just create a hypothetical situation. You go
Yeah,
out for a party with your friends
yeah.
and you meet somebody, and there's this girl, let's suppose, who is exactly like you,
Hmm.
right? And she speaks just the language that you speak,
Correct.
and there's an instant connection that you feel.
Hmm.
Okay, and then you feel something for her. I'm just talking at the level of feeling.
Right.
And the second story would be that you go ahead with it and you start, taking the connection ahead. So
Huh.
just the feeling itself is wrong according to you, or taking any action further is what you categorize as wrong.
I'm not too sure right wrong. It's just that I'm feeling this and I know like I'm trying to find some solution. So the way I look at it is like, this would be right and it would have been okay to have this if like, I have tried and put in all my effort in building a good relationship with my partner first. And if that is not working and I'm then trying to cater to myself, then that is okay. But if I have not done that and I'm just not putting enough effort in the relationship, then it's wrong.
Good.
Okay.
Good. We'll come back
Okay.
to that later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear from more people. There's lots of people on the call. So who would like to share next?
Uh, Hi Sachin,
Go
I
ahead.
am Sudhir here. Uh,
Yes.
would like to pick up the point of what Anamika has referred to, two scenarios, uh, putting that into a context or a situation where everyone would have faced in their life, saying, okay, we go to a party, we see a person, who might be attractive. Okay, then they talk about language, they talk about, okay, the kind of mind or the same way. For me, I don't feel that, okay, having a conversation with a person who is like-minded is something wrong. But taking one step ahead and advancing to the next steps, like go for a date or have, the kind of the next levels, I feel that's where you need to be very honest or draw a clear line. Okay, what is it you are trying to do? Achieve, what is it you are trying to achieve in short? And how are you going to put it to your uh, life partner towards it, right? So you should be a little open up and think before you cross the line. That's what I can say for now, for me. But having said, to answer it straight, okay, the first hypothetical thing is like it's okay to get attracted, but to take it to the next step or not is what a person by him or himself or herself has to define it. Is what I stand upon.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Sudhir. That's good. So what you are saying, I just summarize, if I heard it correctly, having feelings is fine. It's unavoidable. You can have feelings. Um, you can't suppress the feeling side of something. If you see someone, if they talk to you and you feel good about it, and you are feeling something, then it's almost unavoidable. But then taking action, taking it further, that is something in our control, and that is where you are saying that is where right or wrong will come into picture. That will depend on what we are doing. So taking the action is where it
Correct.
is for you.
Correct.
Hmm. Okay, cool. Okay. There's many people. I would like to hear more viewpoints as well. Sakiba, Mahi, Pradeep, Sita, Bob, Vibha. We would like to hear your viewpoints. We just breathe is also there. If anyone wants to talk, they have to unmute themselves and talk.
Nishant, anything from your side?
Nishant, you are muted. I don't know if you're talking, so you have to unmute. Naveen, you joined us. What do you think? You joined us. You, some interest in this topic. You may have some viewpoints. So I would like to know what's your viewpoint on this.
Yeah, Sachin. So, I mean, I don't have any opinions on this. It's all personal. It all depends on the, individuals, two individuals, what they're thinking. I mean, I don't have anything, to discuss more technically or, personally, but I just want to hear from others, how even I
No, no, no,
experience
no,
to be
no, no.
frank. Yeah.
No, I am asking you your opinion. I am not so obviously. I am asking, put yourself in the
Hmm.
in this situation. What would you do? So I'm just so whether you have faced this situation or not doesn't matter. You know yourself. So
Hmm.
imagine you are in this situation. How would what would you do? So I'm interested to know that. I mean, like I said before, also that is a general answer. We all know it's situational, it's contextual, it's
Yeah, yeah.
personal.
Okay.
Everyone that वो सब ज्ञानबाजी है. वो सब ज्ञानबाजी नहीं चाहिए. I want to know
Hmm.
कि आप क्या सोचते हैं.
No, I don't. For me personally, I don't. I don't encourage this for myself. I have experienced these kind of things. Attracting to someone, even after being in a relationship. But I've not gone to the next step. I still think my partner is, loyal to me, or I have to loyal to her. So that's what I believe. So I've not gone next step, and I would, from my opinion, I would not suggest. Uh, I'm not, encouraging. I'm not taking to the next step.
So you won't take the action, but what about the feelings? The question is it wrong to have feelings? So that's the first question. What about the feelings? Do you, so how do you suppress the feelings? How do you not feel?
I experience, but I mean, it's. I don't know. I'm the right person to even answer. I I have experienced it, but I mean, I never had, gone to the next step. Is what I was trying to say.
So you've not
ठीक है.
taken any action in that regard, but you
Correct.
at least acknowledge that you have had, such kind of emotions coming up.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, Anamika.
Right.
So how did you judge those emotions? When you were feeling those emotions, how were you judging them? Were they good? Were they okay? Not okay? How were you feeling about the feelings?
No, at times I felt, okay, it's good to go ahead, and at times I felt, no, it's not right, it's wrong. So even, I was in between, so I could not decide on that. So that's where I just halted myself.
Confusion.
Yes,
Okay.
just confusion, Thai. So I have not gone further.
Okay. 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 Good. Yeah. That's what I'm more interested to know.
Yes.
And from everyone, and I
Huh.
think this is this is a topic that it doesn't have to be कि आप सबको कोई ना कोई पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस और तभी आप बात कर सकते हो. दिस इज अ टॉपिक विच आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग, अगर आपके साथ ऐसा होगा तो आप कैसे करोगे? अपने आप को तो जानते ही हो ना कि
Correct. See,
हाउ वुड यू थिंक. तो दैट्स ऑल आई एम आस्किंग. So yeah, thanks Naveen. So would like to know from others also.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Um, who else? So let's keep talking, guys. Otherwise, we'll just keep asking somebody else. So just pick up a mic and talk. You've all joined this conversation, so you can contribute something.
Sachin, if I may just add, I think there's a lot of conditioning that is there with regards to um, understanding, or even naming a relationship for that matter, right? So there's a lot of influence from the conditions that we have heard. They say, like, right from the story of Ram Sita ki jodi, for example, right? Or that this is how a relationship should be, and this is how it can, this is the only way that it can be, and that doing anything outside of it is considered against the society, or against going, or against the moralistic view of what a relationship should be, especially when it comes to a partner, a husband and a wife relationship. And to break those conditions, and I think, like what Sudhir was saying, or Digen was saying, and I think that's the dilemma where it comes from. uh, where does this is not acceptable in the society, and if I go ahead and do it, um, my question will be, even if I feel it, will I be okay with my partner feeling the same, right, for somebody else? And will I be okay with that? Will I be able to live with that? So मैं कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन मेरा पार्टनर नहीं करना, उनको नहीं करना चाहिए. Do you understand? Like there are instances कि I can feel, but if my partner feels the same with somebody else, then that doesn't bode well with me, and I become vindictive, or I become, why are you doing this? And I've seen these cases. I've seen these cases where they say that the person the day before would have said, I'm feeling like this for somebody, and then the next day the person comes and says, my husband is also feeling like this for somebody. Now what is this? That is wrong. So I said, how can you judge when you are feeling the same thing for somebody else and you are feeling attracted? Then is that not also true for the other person? So to the whole
Absolutely.
idea, right?
No,
So
I agree 100% with Rashmi what she's saying. So yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so first I need to be aware of who I am, and accept that if I can do it, so can somebody else. And I think,
So that's where
I don't know,
initially
it's
I also
conditioned.
told, if I'm doing, if my partner is loyal to me, I don't want something, wrong to be done, to her. That's what I was trying to convince people. For me personally, if your partner is loyal to you, you should be loyal to her. That's where I feel.
But then the question arises, what about the feelings that I'm having for somebody else now?
Question
What do
is
I do with
about the
it?
feelings. Yeah, question is about
Exactly.
No,
that
I
the topic is
understand.
about the
So
feeling.
see again, there are some instances where you can control, where it goes out of control. Again, we call it society, right? You're living in a society. You should know what are goods and bads, what are your limitations. So that will try to sometimes, compress your feelings.
Mhm.
But
No,
again,
but Yeah, please, Rashmi.
which is good for one person might not be good for other person, na. So that is what the whole chaos is all about.
But this is never ending topic, guys. Each one has their own perception, each one has their own opinion. So if say feeling for me, like it is different for someone, feeling maybe the same relationship might be different for each person.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right, right. So the thing is, that we think, because we started the conversation with like, is it fine to have feelings? And then the focus was, my partner does not accept it. So I guess more work needs to be done, will I be able to accept it? And, saying that if I am not able to accept it, then why am I not able to accept it? क्योंकि अगर मेरी feelings natural हैं, if they are coming just naturally, then the other person can also have the same. So the work needs to be done, with ourselves rather than first. But yeah.
It's also, I have observed that this thing what Rashmi mentioned, and this thing that I I feel this way, but when my partner says that, I think I have observed this is very generic in many sense, in the sense that people feel I am entitled, I am free to do this, I'm free to do that, it's my life, whatever I do, and all that. So ये thought process रहता है. But the moment other people in their life do and they get impacted, they get very agitated by that. So, on one hand, I am saying that I am free to do whatever, talk in whichever way, live my life in whichever way, and all that. Nobody is anybody to tell me how I should live, how I should do that. But at the same time, somebody I know, if they are doing it, then I don't accept it. This is this common thing that I have observed. It's not only just applied to this topic. This is a general thing which I have seen, that we are very okay to have one standard for ourselves and having a different standard for another person, and very okay to have these double standards.
Right. So when the work which we do, dissolving these things, so this question itself arises that it is wrong. So is it wrong to have feelings? A lot of people feel that it is wrong for me to have feelings for the same reason, because वो जो judgment है, that judgment exists for the other and for ourselves. So we are judging the whole scenario, but still feelings are there. I mean, we cannot deny the feelings, right? So
Or
that work needs to
is
be.
it that we are judging it this way because we are um, you know ex- extrapolating it out and seeing what if my partner does it to me? Will I be able to handle it? So if I am not able to handle it, मैं पहले से ही बोल देता हूँ कि नहीं सही नहीं. Is
Right.
it about that? Is it about कि अगर मैंने इसको सही बोला, so what if my partner also does this? Then if I won't be able to handle it, तो फिर कैसे होगा? Is the fear coming from that, or is the fear coming from my action, or is the fear coming from the action that what if my partner also gets freedom to do this now? ये तो am I opening the door? Where is the fear coming from?
So, this reminds me of a personal experience, if I may share over here, Sachin. Um, so, I've been married to a man for 20 years. Yes, right. So,
That's the only legal option right now in India.
yes, thank you. And I'm not a lesbian. Thank you so much. I'm not gay. So I'm still straight. Till now, I'm straight. Okay. so,
No,
so
either
I
you're straight or you're not straight. There's nothing like till now.
अरे
Okay.
कुछ बोल नहीं सकते यार. Who knows what happens next?
Right. An
इसने
unexplored
सबने हमको सिर्फ
It
territory.
till
is
now
not.
सुनाई
Yeah,
दिया
I
था.
have not explored. Huh? I've not explored it, so I have no idea. So let's be. Yeah, but then, I have this. I have had this instances where my husband has had very deep attraction for women at work, and there was, for me, I'm fine in terms of, you're being a friend with anybody or you are interested in somebody. I'm okay till there. But what essentially happened was when it starts messing the other person's life, when the person is not maybe interested, and it becomes a different ball of game altogether. So I I remember having this conversation with him where I said that, I'm okay with you being, and what happened in this but one particular case was the person, actually the lady, came to me and had a long conversation about it, and she said, I'm really not comfortable. My husband is aware of this as well, and I don't think I'm really able to take all this what is happening with me. And that was that was the way our friendship started, in fact. And then there were instances where I used to go with my husband to the family. We used to sit because he wanted to see her, he wanted to talk to her, he wanted to be around her, right? So to bring some kind of and it was not necessarily maybe leading to a physical relationship, but there was definitely an attraction, at least from his side. And I still remember there was this one instance where she did not respond to a few messages. It was some festival and all that stuff, and then he was very upset about it, and he was going all over the place, and he was getting very irritated and angry. I asked something, and then he offhandedly said something. Then I asked, "Is it because this person? What is the issue?" And then, after several asking, he said, "This person is not responding to my messages." And I remember very clearly that I took both my kids along with me. And I said, "No, come. We are going to her house now, if that is what you want." And I remember going there and, spending time with the entire family. It is a different matter that the husband also spoke to me. It is that we were aware, the three of us were aware. Myself, this lady, and her husband were very clearly aware what was happening. But I think what went well there was that we handled it in such a way that, eventually they are still my very good friends, and my husband has broken up with them in terms of, he doesn't want to talk to her anymore. Apparently he feels that he is cheated or something like that. I don't know what it means. But then what I'm trying to say is that yes, there are attractions that happen in a relationship. I think discussing with a partner is very important. And also, like when Digain said, I don't know whether the person is mature enough to understand what I'm going through, right? It is important that the other person is in that maturity level to understand that where this is leading to, and is it right. So if it is a mutual stuff, and if it is agreeable, and if I'm not okay with it, if I say that no, if you want to continue, maybe if I would have said that if you want to continue this relationship with the person, please go ahead and do it. I'm out of this, right? I don't think I agree with this. If you are there, then be there. Don't be in both the places. I think that's where I'm very, very clear about. If you want to be there, and if it's a mutual understanding, and you are clearly wanting to be there and investing, you're going to invest your emotions and everything in that particular relationship, and you don't want to do anything with this relationship that you're having, go ahead. I'm nobody to stop you. I cannot, right? But then if that is going to ruin somebody else's life and yours and mine, I don't think I'm party to this. And I was very clear about it. I said, I'm not going to allow you to destroy somebody else's life because of what you're feeling. I think that kind of I think that's where it's not about morality, maybe. For me, it was not about the morality bit of it. For me, it was more about, you know,
The practical side of things.
practical side of it. Exactly. Like, is
Yeah,
it practical?
yeah.
Is
Because
it practical for you
these
to
are the consequences that are going to happen,
consequences?
and
Exactly.
are you prepared to handle those consequences?
Handle the consequences. That's what I said in the initial. If you are ready to accept the consequences of it, then go ahead and do it. You are accountable for it. As simple as that. Then you have to face everything that comes with it, be it your relationships, your relatives, your friends, your office, your whoever, your children, whoever it is. Will you be able to stand up and say, yes, this is what I did, and I feel that this is for me, and for myself, and I am ready to face the consequences of whatever comes out of it. But
That is like bang on point, Rashmi. I mean, we Sachin and I were having the exact same conversation a few days back, and we eventually came to the same conclusion which you just said. Now the only problem is why people end up lying and doing whatever they get into. The thing is that they want laddu in both their hands, but they don't want to
exactly,
face the consequences. You
exactly,
cannot do that. I mean,
exactly.
उनको लड्डू सारे
लड्डू
खाने
गुलाब
हैं,
जामुन
Danis,
सब कुछ चाहिए.
gulab jamun,
हाँ,
laddu, rasgulla, सब कुछ खाना है, but then they don't want to face the consequences. Do that. There's nothing wrong with
exactly,
doing that. But
exactly,
yeah, you'll have to take into consideration the other person also, right? Like, let's suppose my
absolutely,
partner tells me that if I go on dating somebody else and he is not okay with it, so I have to make a choice at that point of time, and I have to see the consequence as well, and I have to be ready to face the consequence. It's not like कि अभी ये भी चाहिए and then वो भी नहीं छोड़ना है and then
हाँ,
सब कुछ चाहिए.
correct.
Yeah, so
But
that
But
this is the
Anamika,
funny thing.
yeah.
But this is the
Sorry.
funny thing, okay? Just a minute, Naveen. Adding on to that, now after 20 years of marriage, when I feel that, okay, I want to maybe explore a different relationship, but I don't want to do it in the daira of being legally married to a person. Do you understand? And that's my personal value. It's my personal um, it's my value. That's something that I abide by. So recently, when my husband was here and I had a conversation with him, and I told him, you know what, I think I'm looking out for a relationship. And the first thing that he asked was, oh, so you're going to get married to another guy? I said, does it mean that, you know, it doesn't mean that is that the reason why you're asking us to get separated legally? Right? So I said, no, that's not the whole point. I am looking for a legal separation because I'm out. There is nothing in this relationship to explore further, and I feel I don't want to
yeah.
do it within this. I don't want to feel that it's my value. It's not even about the feeling. I don't want to do it within this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's my value. Somebody else does
No,
it.
but
I'm not
I'll
bothered.
just, I'll
Yeah.
just tell you a same story on a similar line. So now there was this guy which I met who probably was around in his 50s. Okay, and he was also going through a similar situation where he was not emotionally connected to his wife. They was just living there because, they just got married and they have kids. So they were just living
Yes.
together. But that guy was so clear, you won't believe. He was so clear, and he told his wife that, see, I am going to have relationships outside of the marriage. I don't know about his wife, what his wife was doing. And he did not want to get separated. He wanted to stay in the same relationship, committed. He also
Correct.
clearly stated this to his wife that I am exploring other relationships, but I also don't want to give up on the responsibility which I have for you and the kids.
Right.
And do you agree to what I do? And he just went forward, and it has been going on for over a decade now, and they are actually living in a healthier environment. I mean, that guy is just happy in his life, and his wife is happy, and the kids also are happy because it's really hard for to raise the children separately. So they're very aware that हाँ ये responsibility है तो है, and they are not running away from it. They came
Correct.
to a an agreement that this is how we want our lives to be, and they're fine with it. So it's
Right.
just so personal, and it is so subjective. It's
It
what is
is.
important, yeah, to come to that point of harmony where you can find the best solution.
Right.
And when you have kids, then the situations differ a lot, because
Absolutely. Absolutely.
when two people are just married and they don't have kids, then it's a different scenario. It's
Yeah.
easier. It's a lot easier.
Right.
Yeah, with kids, we have to look at a lot of other things.
Yes, because you cannot disregard the responsibility you have for them, right? They're
Yeah.
living souls. Yeah.
But I guess even considering the fact that they are the next gen, the Z gen, they are more open, if I may say so, uh, in many ways, understanding relationships. Because I know that my cousins who are 20, 21 years of age and lesser, they have a much more open understanding and view of relationships, if I may say so. And that's amazing because they are okay. They are like, I remember my cousin asking, her mother, why are you in this relationship when there's nothing in this relationship, right? And she's my aunt. So it's like, what is it? Why can't you just call it quits and then, you're just
Move
50,
on.
mom. Yeah, you're just 55. You still have another 20 years to go. So why can't you find somebody else? Why do you have to continue living with this person, right? So I think that way the new generation is much more open
You
about
won't
it.
believe, Rashmi, I have friends who are right now, dating multiple people and doing everything. So there was one friend of mine I was talking to. So he's right now dating like 4 people. Okay, literally 4 people at a time. And we were like, seriously, dude. And then he was
कैसे
like,
कर लेते हो यार?
I want to get married now. हम भी यही पूछ रहे थे उससे मैनेज कैसे करते हो टाइम कैसे मिलता है and then he was like,
Yeah,
now I'm ready to get married because I've explored as much as I wanted to. And we
That's
were like, are you sure that, you are like ready to give your best to the relationship and all those friends
correct.
question and all. And he was like, I am ready. But उसने बड़े chill तरीके से क्या बोला कि ठीक है ना यार, if it works out fine, अगर नहीं होगा तो divorce ले लेंगे. And we were like, okay,
So it's not, I think the world has come to that, and let's face that is what it is. But
yes.
yeah, Naveen, I'm so sorry I cut you short. You were saying
Sorry,
something.
yeah, I was
Apologies.
going to say
Yeah.
the same that Naveen wanted to say something. Naveen, go ahead. You are on mute.
No, thank you, guys. I think I'm good. You covered, I think, almost everything. So I think you guys were, more mature, and then, and you are on very point to answer the, the current topic. So I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I have a way of looking at it right now. Well, I've just been exploring with the idea
Yes.
that because I do not have that enriching life with my partner, I'm thinking about like basically coming to a communication where like, hey, listen, because we have a daughter and I have to be taking seriously, like, because I need to form a good character for myself to build on and also for my further life. So I do not want to be in that fluidity. So the idea I'm looking to explore is that we give us each other like open commitment for probably next couple of years, and we both work towards like really making sure that we satisfy each other as partners, the real meaning of having a good relationship. And if we can come to that, well, otherwise, maybe we should consider separation because, as Rashmi said, like I would be 40 by then, and I still have another 40 years to live, and we should look at
Wise choice, again. Wise choice.
this is one way of I am trying to actually look at my current situation.
Yes, yes. I would,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we should give everything we can to a relationship and see if it can
Yeah,
mend, if it means,
Even if you have 1 year to live, like why would you want to live like that anyway?
yeah,
exactly.
that's also true.
Absolutely. So like, my whole point is like I'm trying to explore the concept of like conscious designing, right? Designing your relationships or structures in your life, which really affects you as much. And I believe in the concept of marriage, of course, and a right partner. But when you do not have that spark, when you do not share that drive and way of the worldview, basically, so then definitely you should consider reevaluating things. There's a long way. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Somebody asked the question, can somebody share their take on victims of abusive and toxic relationship? So, Mahi, this is a different topic altogether. I mean, it is a good topic indeed, and we need to talk about it.
That sounds like another topic of discussion in
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
If we
But
start
still,
talking
for
about that, yeah.
yeah, but just for a brief reason, I would just say that it is first important to first come to a conclusion that how this relationship is toxic and what is your role in the relationship. And then another question, I guess, which you need to ask is, why are you in that relationship? So if you have already concluded that the relationship is toxic and it is not good, it is abusive, then we really need to ask ourselves then, why are we in that relationship?
Can I just
please,
pose a
Sachin.
very, very difficult question for you, Mahi, which I'm going to say you probably not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm still going to say it. That most of the time it is not the relationship that is toxic, it is not the other person who's toxic. We already carry the poison inside us. The other person becomes a reason for it to come out. So, in what way have you explored that how much of this toxicity is actually coming from your side itself? Have you spent time in thinking about it, or has your focus always been on the other person? And by saying that, I'm not saying the other person is right in what they are doing. No. If you are hearing that, I'm not saying that. You are only hearing it. So I am not even talking about the other person. I'm not even talking about that what they are doing is right, wrong, toxic, non-toxic, whatever. I'm saying that how much of this toxicity you are bringing. Have you tried to even ask yourself that question? And if you have, then what have you realized? So you don't have to give us the answer to this. I'm not. This question is not for discussion. This question is for contemplation. So think about it. That how much of this toxicity you talk about is your own doing, that you are doing to yourself. So एक ओशो की story है. I will say that to say what I'm saying here. So one time also, I was listening to, so he talks about that there is this guy who is holding a cup of tea. बहुत भरा हुआ है ऊपर तक. So if you imagine किसी का कप जो है चाय से एकदम ऊपर तक भरा हुआ है और वो उसको बड़ी केयरफुली लेके चल रहा है कि वो छलक ना जाए, और वो बहुत केयरफुली धीरे धीरे चल रहा है. एंड अचानक से कोई उससे टकरा जाता है और उसकी चाय छलक जाती है. तो ओशो का क्वेश्चन था कि व्हाई डिड द टी स्पिल. नाउ ऑब्वियसली ऐसे हमारा फर्स्ट जो आंसर आएगा, फर्स्ट रिएक्शन होगा वो यही रहेगा कि चाय गिरी, छलकी क्योंकि कोई उससे टकरा गया, तो इसलिए चाय छलक गई. तो व्हाट ओशो सेज ऑन दिस इज कि उस कप में से चाय गिरी क्योंकि उस कप में चाय थी. अगर उस कप में पानी होता तो पानी गिरता, उस कप में दूध होता तो दूध गिरता, उस कप में जूस होता तो जूस गिरता. तो पॉइंट इज नॉट कि कोई हमसे टकरा गया इसलिए वो छलक गया और ये है. पॉइंट इज कि हम अपने कप में भर के क्या चल रहे हैं, छलक क्या रहा है. तो आपका कप में अगर जहर ही भरा रहेगा तो जहर ही छलकेगा. आपके कप में अगर हैप्पीनेस भरी रहेगी तो कोई टकराएगा तो हैप्पीनेस छलकेगी. आपके कप में अगर एंगर भरा रहेगा तो एंगर छलकेगा. आपने कितना इंट्रोस्पेक्ट किया है इस पॉइंट पे. सो थिंक अबाउट दैट. दिस इज नॉट अ क्वेश्चन फॉर डिस्कशन, दिस इज ओनली अ क्वेश्चन टू कॉन्टेम्पलेट.
People who have
able
not
to hear me what I said? Can you just confirm you heard me?
Yes, loud and clear, Sachin.
Yeah, Sachin, we heard you.
Yes, we all heard you very clearly.
Yeah, Mahi also said yes. So anybody else who has not spoken yet, please feel free to share your views on this.
Yeah, I can guarantee you this is a safe space.
कोई legal action होने वाला नहीं है. I think you guys can open up and speak up. Yeah.
As Rashmi told, I think she has also filed for a divorce or separation. Like, I have also filed for petition, and like currently,
Are you asking me, Vanshika?
yeah, I'm asking you only,
No,
Rashmi.
I'm having a discussion around it, and obviously there are questions as to why अब क्या हो गया kinds, but I'm like कुछ होने के लिए है नहीं इसीलिए. I think there's a different
कुछ हो ही
life
तो नहीं
path.
रहा है.
Huh. So, after a point in time, there are other priorities, and I think that's what I feel. There are other priorities and other things that I see in the future that I may not have seen 20 years ago. But now, with this maturity, with this level of understanding, with so many years of living, you realize that maybe what you had chosen was something uh, different, and now you see a different path, and hence you may not, and the other person may not agree with it, which is also okay.
Yeah.
So if I have to go on that path, then and it is not about the relationship per se. There's nothing wrong with the relationship, but if I want to tread on that path, this will be a hindrance if the person is not mature enough to understand this. It is only going to just say what Mahi was saying, right? It brings certain toxicity into the relationship, and
Yes.
it will continue to become abusive. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to reach that stage? I think I'm just being proactive, and there is no hard feelings over here. We are adults, like we are two adults. I think we can take a much better informed, aware decision rather than going into a defensive mode and saying तुमने वो नहीं किया मैंने ये नहीं किया यार जो हुआ हुआ नहीं किया
No,
किया
but
किया
Rashmi,
right.
I still, I mean, just because I want to understand your situation more.
Hmm.
So my question is that why you waited for 20 years? Like because of your kids or because you did not
Yes.
feel like, okay.
No, primarily because the kids, because and this is again based upon my value system. I wanted the kids to grow up enough to understand that it is not anybody's fault, or that it is, there is nothing negative about the other person because of which I'm leaving. At a younger stage, if I were to do that, the question will always remain. And I chose to be not the person who, like what they say, no? I chose to not get into the abusiveness or toxicity of the relationship, and that was my choice, right? Okay. Though there were a lot of situations every time that came up to it, I chose to stay away from it. I chose to be away from the drama. That's about it. Right? The drama can happen there. That's fine. But I'm away from it. So in many ways, I did not allow it to affect me, and I also stepped away from the situation. I moved to a different city. I took my children here, and I've had very open conversations with my girls. I have discussed this with my daughters. I have, in a very mature way, over a period of time, as to why we are separate, and that it is no fault of his or mine, right? And that we are two different people who have issues, that he has issues that he needs to address it himself first, and I have issues that I need to address myself first. And over a period of time, I don't know how this is going to, this is just, people may think that I'm being crazy or I'm being experimental. Why do you want to spoil? So these are questions that my husband asks, like, बच्चों के बारे में कभी सोचा है क्या? तो मैं सोचती हूँ कि यार इतने सालों तो मैंने I was the one who was taking care of them. I have really thought about it. It's not that, so why are you asking this question now? So imagine that's the level of understanding that he has, whereas my understanding is way different. So primarily that is also the reason why, because we're two worlds apart.
That's the thing about communication, which I very strongly
Exactly.
believe that sometimes communication, lack of communication, is because of lack of
Absolutely.
comprehension. The other person
Absolutely.
just not able to comprehend your point. So it doesn't matter
Absolutely.
आप कितना clearly, कितने clear language
कितना
में
भी
बता रहे हो,
बोलोगे, yeah.
कितना भी बोलोगे, the lack of comprehension is
Mhm.
cannot be compensated by communication.
Correct.
Just
Correct.
they cannot comprehend. Just on a
Absolutely.
different page, on a different planet altogether.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but the question, which keeps coming in my mind, like when I see such things, that, but still, I mean, this must have become clear to you long back
Yeah, yeah.
that
Oh,
like
yes.
communication is not
Oh,
happening.
yes.
And your
Yes,
reason,
yes.
I totally understand that it's because of the kids. But I
Yeah.
still keep, this keeps coming in my head. Then why people wait for so long? I mean, yeah. I mean,
So
not in
I
your
love the
regard.
example, I love the example that Sachin gave, right? About the Osho story. कि आपके कप में क्या भरा
Right.
है ना? तो मेरे कप में वो एंगर और वो है ही नहीं. I don't have that against the person or anybody. So मेरे कप से वो छलकता ही नहीं है. तो फिर problem, then I can, if you ask me, I can continue in this relationship. I can choose to. That's exactly what he also wants. But that's where I want to be different. And I say, no, I don't want to choose this. I don't see myself doing it. If I see myself doing it, I will still continue in the relationship. Nothing is lost. He can live in a different city. I can live in a different city. My children will grow up in different other cities, and life goes on.
No, but a lot is lost being in that relationship, no?
What
A lot is
makes you?
lost in, I mean, I'm not talking about your situation,
Ha. No, I
like in
understand.
specific, but a lot
Ha.
is lost being in that relationship.
Of course, but there is a lot of gains also, na?
Yeah, of course.
There is always this thing of, there is nothing until and unless it is a complete 100% loss. I think that's when it becomes extremely, I don't know, I'm just thinking, becomes extremely toxic and abusive.
Here, I would like to share because in my case, my husband was like completely very abusive, physically
Absolutely.
also. So there, you it becomes a lot easier in a way to decide. And I had a small child; she was just 4 months old when I took decision of coming back to my parents' place and getting a divorce separation because he was even hitting his own child. So that was like something too much to even think about it. And so like now I have filed for a petition and I'm also exploring again other relationships. So it's like it's and we have decided upon. It took me 2 years to understand so many things, contemplate so many things,
Correct.
and contemplating. But at the same time, it has become a lot easier, very clear. Like for the kids, like okay, we both as parents, we will support our children, and like we understand, like you said, my life is different and his is different. Like he understands that. So it's a convenience की हो गया कि okay, maybe ऐसा है. So it's like a healthy this thing discussion.
Correct.
Discussion in a
Correct.
context, healthy environment. So
Right.
it takes a lot of time sometimes, I feel.
Yeah. So, Anamika, to answer your question, and even Vanshika, if you ask me, has there been no physical? Yes, there has been. Okay, there has been physical abuse. It started, but I knew when to step out. So I said, no, that's not happening with me. So, and the first opportunity that I got to move out of the city, I moved out with my kids. And बंदे को ऐसा कभी लगा ही नहीं कि it is because of those reasons. आज जब बात हो रही है, तो now he understands it is because of those reasons. And it's not that I've never spoken about it. Like what Sachin was saying, we can communicate, but is the person willing to really try to understand? If the person is not, and that's where I think the financial independence of the women, I'm not a feminist, but then the financial independence of the woman comes into picture, because if you are financially independent, you have that freedom to choose to move or
No,
step
that
away.
is absolutely a very, very important point. The
Absolutely.
financial independence. We cannot,
Right.
keep it aside and talk about this.
Yeah. So then we have a choice. And I think, I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know if I'm going to do the right thing, but it's just one life that you have. It is all a learning of right and wrong, or I don't know, mistakes, and then walking again. Yeah. But it's pretty interesting, huh? Life must there. Very colorful.
Also in my case, like my parents were very very supportive because I have an elder sister. She also got separated, like now it's like 10 years back she got separated. So that time also they supported, and now she's financially independent as well. She's doing her PhD in stem cells in Bangalore. So, and like now, even I'm like currently again trying to get my career back on track, and at the same time taking care of my child and everything. So it's like I had a very good support system. I was not very good financially, like, yeah, I am not very independent currently financially, but I have so much of good support from my friends, my family, my relatives. So that helped me a lot to come out of this, take decision at the right time and do the right thing, for me and my child. So that also really helps.
Of course,
Cool.
Vanshika, of
Hmm.
course.
ये कहाँ का
Cool.
टॉपिक
So
कहाँ पहुँच गया?
6:15. That's what I was thinking as well. कहाँ का topic कहाँ पहुँच गया था? So 6:15. Is there anyone wants to say anything as a parting comment, and anyone wants to share anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, Sachin, just a thought. I understand that I was listening to the conversation by Rashmi and Vanshika, and very interesting thoughts which they've shared about the purview or what everyone have faced through or living through the situations. But having said, to bring it back to the topic, I have a friend. It's not a hypothetical one. It's like something which really happened with my friend. She got married to a person whom she likes to be with. Uh, uh, had a good life after marriage, close to 6 years, and blessed with a baby girl. And they were very living happily. And sometime, in due course of time, she wanted to pursue her higher academics, and then she moved on to some institute, and where she started getting attracted to another person. Somehow, don't know why the feelings come up, and but she got attracted, and she moved on, and then that's where when she came back, and then she felt okay, I should actually draw a line and say that okay, uh, it's not working out anything more for me. So why do you think person would change due course of time? When they have a perfect relationship or a perfect person in their life, and suddenly because of a newcomer into the life, would change those feelings. Any specific pointers to be discussed about it? Or
See, I think we were talking about the wound side of things. So one of the things which we have to understand is why two people got attracted to each other in the first place. So whether it was a love marriage, so yeah, love marriage. Let's talk about arranged marriage. We don't really know this. So in love marriage, two people get attracted to each other. Now, are they getting attracted to each other because they feel that they are going through or they have gone through some kind of problems in life, and they feel connected because the other person, it feels like they understand my story, they understand me, and I can very easily be vulnerable in front of them and tell them that this is what I've gone through and all that, and this seems like they support it, and they understand it. At the same time, the other person also shares their side of the story in a different way, maybe a different story, but kind of sounds very similar. So it resonates, and then it brings two people together. This is common that people who resonate at that level, they come together. They feel there is we understand each other. Now what happens that over time, as you evolve, sometimes we work on ourselves knowingly, sometimes we work on ourselves unknowingly. Many people may not know that they are working, so it's not a conscious decision that they have made that I am going to be working on myself. But let's say you are in the habit of reading books or listening to something, and over time, these thoughts, these ideas, they start to seep in. And although you are not trying to work on yourself, but these ideas, these thoughts, these perspectives stick, and indirectly it changes you. Indirectly, it transforms you. And as you are transforming, and now those things that used to bother you before, that were your wounds, they have healed. Let's say if your partner has not worked like that, if they are where they have always been, they will probably start to see you as that you have changed. And this instead of being a compliment, this becomes a complaint. So now two people who used to sync very well together, they don't sync anymore. And although you feel that it was a love marriage and we used to love each other, we used to do this, that, and all that. So how come another person is coming in the picture? Another person is coming in the picture because now you're resonating with that person. You're not resonating with this person anymore, although it all started from there. So that is the reason why we start to resonate. And you will be surprised that majority of the relationship related issues that exist today in different shape or form, the issues might look very, very different and may look like, oh, mine is totally different to what you're talking about. But as I mentioned in the group many times as well, that we don't work on people and issues, we work on patterns. And if you go behind this and see the patterns, you will see that they're all same. And everything stems from one core reason. One core reason is two people have stopped resonating. And when two people have stopped resonating, who used to resonate before, a lot of problems get created. It could be misunderstandings. It could be that they can't understand my thought process anymore. It could be lack of sexual intimacy and lack of physical intimacy, emotional intimacy. It could be anything that will start to get created because now two people have stopped resonating. So the core problem is two people growing apart. And growing apart is one of the biggest problems in couples, that one person just lags behind the other. They're not growing together. They're growing in two different directions. Either two people are going in two different directions, or one is growing, the other one is not. And the person who is not growing is often trying to make the other person look bad as well. That you are changing, you were not like this before, now you are this, now you are that. So it's dragging the other person back as well. Sooner or later, these relationships break. And when I say break, I don't necessarily mean that people separate only or have divorce. But in my opinion, whether they are separating or having divorce legally, they are still broken. They are just living a broken relationship under the same roof. They have nothing common left. They don't share anything with each other. They don't talk to each other. They don't communicate with anything. It's just functional. For the society, they are putting a face, like the example that Anamika was sharing about that person. So perhaps for the society, they are putting it together. And this is very common, especially in people who are, who have like public kind of life, who know a lot of people. So to save the image, this is very common. In those families, this is very common. To save the image, they would have all these things going on inside the house. But for outside world to show, they are showing that we still happily married, we are this and that. So this is quite common. And that is what we end up doing. So in my opinion, it is still a broken marriage. It's just that you haven't gone to the court and taken a proper order about it. But at the end of the day, it's broken. There is nothing left. So, the core problem is two people not syncing anymore, and they have stopped resonating. And when they stop resonating, they will resonate with somebody else, because one of our core need as human being, when you strip down all everything, like the color, the language that we speak, the age, experience, or what food we eat, what country we live in, strip all that thing away. When you come down to the basic human being, connection is one of our core needs. There are 6 core needs, and connection is one of them. We cannot live without connection. We cannot live without feeling connected to another person. And if you are not resonating with your partner anymore, it's only a matter of time that you will find another person who you will resonate. And your partner will also find another person who they will resonate as well. So It's that is the core issue why things like these can happen.
Okay. Thanks for those inputs.
Sachin, what we're talking about now, I feel like then why are there these kind of legal systems such as marriage and everything, when
There is no
these,
point of it actually. There is no point
To
of it. So
control,
another thing,
Vanshika, to control
another thing,
people.
another thing that Osho has said, which I really connect with it. Osho has very well said that if today you abolish marriage, if today you abolish and say it's totally fine, you want to be married to this person or you don't want to be married, it's totally fine. Nobody will judge you. Nobody will. No consequence will happen. Most of the people who are not happy in their marriage, they will leave. And most of the people who are happy with their partner and not married, they will still continue.
yeah,
So this
Yeah.
whole
So
system
there's
of
no
what you are
point.
saying, there's no point.
exactly.
There's absolutely no point. It's just control.
Yeah. 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 So Dheer, I just wanted to confirm once. Could you um understand what like Sachin was explaining?
Yeah, I get it, Anamika. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, and this is one of the observations which I have in the past is that this happens more often in long distance relationships. So this is I mean, I'm not even getting into like the details and how people operate. Like Sachin explained, that is true, and that is at the root level. In fact, at the surface level also, the thing is that there are people, most of the population, who have their needs. It can be any kind of needs, like just can be as simple as you sometimes feel meeting a friend and talking to them. And in a long distance relationship, you just cannot talk to your partner, right? I mean, even if you had a bad day, you मतलब talking to your partner in your phone is not always enough. So you a lot of people come in that category who have that kind of need to meet and need to be physically there with each other. So when that does not happen for a very longer period of time, that is also a reason why somebody could feel attracted to a person in their life who's currently filling that part of them. So that is why we give a lot of emphasis on the needs part, that why it is so important to meet your needs, because you're anyway going to meet your needs. It can happen at the conscious level or it can happen at the unconscious level, but when it's conscious, at least you can decide and decipher and dissect into the situation and see what can be done. But if it is unconscious, it's like it's just happening. So in long distance relationships, mostly it goes stale. There could be two scenarios: either two people are like extremely codependent on each other and they are just not able to leave each other and they end up lying and all. Or the second scenario is that they already have reached that level of transcendence that they're like just fulfilled in themselves, which most of the population is not. So I guess that is another thing.
I wanted to add to what Namika said that there is this concept of love language, as she was saying, the need. So we are preparing another e-journey on this, on love languages, which we will be releasing in maybe a week or so. Most likely before the end of this month, it will be released. So this will be another thing to explore when we talk about these needs. So it's more crisp. It's more like there are five types of those ones, and there'll be a assessment so you can figure out
Yeah.
your own.
Sachin, are you
And
talking about the book that Five Love Languages? I've read that, so I was just
yes,
wanting to know.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. So we have created assessment for that one, so you can figure out your own, and then you can figure out the one for your partner as well, and then you can see that what it is that you need to do and what it is that. So what is it that you need to do in order to communicate communicate your love language to your partner and what it is that you need to do in order to adopt theirs. So we have created that. Not created it, we are creating it. So it will be released in most uh, before the end of this month. It will be released. So that will give you a much more crisper handle on the needs that Anamika is talking about. More tangible that way for you to. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 6:30, so should we wrap it up now? Anybody has
Thank you.
anything just to add?
I mean, I just want to, thank Sachin, Anamika, and the host, for conducting such a wonderful discussion. I'm also lucky to be part of this meeting. Thank you so much, guys. Hope to see you in future. Maybe every Sunday you guys connect. I'm not, I'm not sure, or if it
Yes,
is
yes.
okay.
We do hold open conversations every Sunday. Yes.
Okay, so you have the same time, or it
Thanks,
changes?
Vinay, as well. You are part of the group. We will tell you in the group.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you
Sometimes
so
we
much, guys.
change. Sometimes we keep it the same. Yeah. Yeah. In group we will share the timing and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sachin. Bye.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Naveen. Thanks, Vinay. Okay. So let's wrap up then. Thanks, guys. It was great.
Everyone, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
Take
evening.
care.
Thanks,
Bye
Sudhir.
bye.
Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Jaspreet. Thanks, Anamika.
Thank you, Sushma and
Thank you.
Anamika.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was a
Thank
good topic. Yeah, thank you. Okay.